Sometimes history does not unfold quietly. Sometimes it shakes the world. Bangladesh, a nation born from war, sacrifice, and struggle. A land where politics is not just politics. It is emotion, identity, blood, and destiny. For decades, power has shifted like a stormy sea, and one name shaped the country more than almost any other: Sheikh Hasina. For some, a symbol of progress and stability. For others, a sign of control and controversy. And today, her story stands at the most dramatic turning point. A turning point that has shocked South Asia, shaken international observers, and left millions questioning what comes next. Reports circulating online claim severe legal action and sentencing, igniting intense debate and confusion across media platforms. But to understand how Bangladesh reached this moment, we must go back to the beginning. To the moment she first stepped into power, because nothing in this story is simple. Nothing is black or white. And the truth is hidden beneath layers of history, struggle, loyalty, revenge, and politics. Sheikh Hasina Wajid was not just another politician entering parliament. She was the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding father of Bangladesh, the man many called Banga Bandhu, the voice of independence. His assassination in 1975 changed everything. Almost her entire family was killed in a single night. Only Hasina and her sister survived because they were abroad. From that moment, her life transformed into a mission. For many supporters, it was a fight to restore democracy. For critics, it was the beginning of a dynasty. She returned to Bangladesh in 1981 and took leadership of the Awami League, eventually becoming Prime Minister in 1996. Her first tenure came with powerful goals: stabilize the economy, strengthen democracy, reduce corruption, and improve Bangladesh's global position. For many citizens, hope returned. International partners praised her governance. Policies targeting infrastructure, women's education, and technological development gained respect. But Bangladesh is a land where political rivalry runs deep. Her greatest opponent was Khaleda Zia, leader of the BNP, and the country entered what many call one of the most intense rivalries in South Asian history. Two powerful women, two visions. One nation divided. After losing power in 2001, Hasina made a comeback in the 2008 elections, following a military-backed caretaker government era. This victory changed everything. Supporters called it the return of democratic leadership, but opponents accused the process of being unfair. From 2009 to 2024, she became one of the longest-serving leaders in South Asian history. Under her leadership, Bangladesh experienced massive GDP growth, major economic projects like the Padma Bridge and Metro Rail, a decline in extreme poverty, and international praise for development. Industry expanded, especially in garments and IT. And the country achieved better global relations and recognition from world organizations. For many citizens, she was a hero of development. Someone who transformed Bangladesh into a rising modern economy. But no story of power is without shadows. As her power grew, so did criticism. Opposition groups accused the government of restricting freedom of speech, controlling media, arresting political rivals, and interfering with elections. Human rights organizations expressed concern, while government supporters argued that such steps were necessary to maintain stability and prevent extremism. Bangladesh became a nation divided. Supporters celebrated peace, progress, safety, and development. Opponents claimed suppression, censorship, and political pressure. The world watched the drama unfold, but the climax had not yet arrived. In early 2024, Bangladesh saw a dramatic wave of protests and unrest. Crowds filled the streets. Riots and clashes appeared in major cities. Government buildings were stormed. Roads burned. A moment of calm suddenly turned into chaos. Supporters of opposition parties demanded resignation. Demonstrators called for new elections. Amid the escalating crisis, the military and law enforcement intervened. International media began describing the situation as a major turning point in Bangladesh politics. A political earthquake, a moment that could rewrite history. And then came the biggest shock. Major news outlets began publishing reports that Sheikh Hasina had fled the country during the unrest. Shortly after, online news platforms and social media exploded with claims that legal proceedings and trials had begun against her under a temporary transitional authority. Some sources assert that cases were filed relating to decisions made during her government. Others describe accusations surrounding protest management, corruption allegations, and misuse of power. And eventually, unverified online posts claimed she had been sentenced to severe punishment, igniting emotional reactions across Bangladesh and South Asia. It's important to note, these claims are highly sensitive and still under verification. Many conflicting reports exist. Different media outlets are presenting different narratives. Some call it political revenge, others call it legal accountability. Nothing is officially confirmed. No final judgment is publicly verified. The story is still unfolding. This is why we must ask, how did a leader who ruled for 15 years reach such a dramatic crossroads? Is this justice or politics? Accountability or revenge? Truth or misinformation? This is where our investigation truly begins. Millions of citizens are reacting with shock, fear, and confusion. Some celebrate, some cry, some pray. Some ask for peace. Some demand justice. For supporters, she is a victim of political conspiracy. She built modern Bangladesh and deserves respect and protection. For critics, this is accountability after years of control. No leader is above the law, and a new era must begin. And in the middle, millions of ordinary people stand silent, wondering what the future holds for their nation. This is not just a political conflict. This is not just a legal battle. This is a historic moment that will be remembered for generations, whether as a tragedy, a transformation, or a warning. And the biggest question remains unanswered. What happens next? Join us as we continue to investigate this unfolding story. Today, on the 17th of November, 2025, a pivotal moment unfolded in a South Asian nation. The country's tribunal reached a verdict that captured global attention. A former prime minister, once a dominant political figure, has been sentenced to the maximum penalty by the court for crimes against humanity. The tribunal's ruling is historic. It signals accountability at the highest levels of power. Yet it comes with a cloud of uncertainty, tension, and global scrutiny. The court, after months of extensive hearings, delivered a judgment that shocked many citizens and leaders alike. Security was tightened across the capital, and media outlets from around the world reported live updates, capturing the tense atmosphere outside the courtroom. For the nation, this is more than a legal decision. It is a moment that may redefine its political landscape for years to come. The tribunal outlines several serious charges against the former leader. While the identities of the victims and specific incidents have been generalized here for safety, the allegations include the use of excessive force against civilian protesters during nationwide demonstrations and authorizing military and law enforcement interventions, involving helicopters, drones, and other lethal measures. Other charges covered incidents leading to deaths of students and unarmed citizens in multiple locations across the country. Serious human rights violations during the crackdown, causing long-term fear and trauma among the population, and multiple counts of systemic abuse and oppression, which the tribunal considered to qualify as crimes against humanity. The court reviewed dozens of witness testimonies, phone recordings, and government documents. These pieces of evidence were cited as proof of direct orders from the highest offices of power to suppress protests forcefully. The tribunal concluded that these actions constituted the gravest violations of law and human rights, warranting the maximum sentence under the legal framework of the nation. On the day of the verdict, tension was palpable. Security forces surrounded the tribunal. Journalists set up cameras across streets, and citizens awaited the announcement with bated breath. The tribunal declared that the former leader would receive the highest legal penalty, while several top aides received lengthy prison terms. In its official statement, the court emphasized that the decision was based purely on evidence presented and was not influenced by political motives. The message was clear: no one is above the law. For many citizens, this ruling represents justice, long delayed. For others, it is seen as a controversial decision that could deepen existing divisions in society. Across the capital city, reactions varied widely, from quiet celebrations in some neighborhoods to tense demonstrations in others. Inside the country, political leaders and citizens responded in dramatically different ways. Some political parties hailed the verdict as a triumph for accountability and the rule of law. Others criticized the ruling, calling it biased and politically motivated, suggesting it could exacerbate tensions. Families of protesters who had suffered loss or injury during the demonstrations expressed cautious relief. Amidst this mix of emotions, the country's interim administration declared it would maintain tight security to prevent unrest and ensure that the legal process is respected. Citizens were advised to avoid large gatherings, while media continued to cover reactions across districts. The atmosphere in the capital resembled a city bracing itself for an uncertain future. Globally, the verdict has drawn attention from governments, human rights organizations, and international media. Some international observers praise the ruling as a demonstration that even top leaders can face consequences for misuse of power. Others cautioned against the use of the death penalty, urging restraint and highlighting the importance of human rights and fair legal proceedings. Diplomatic channels are actively discussing potential extradition matters. As the former leader is currently outside the country, global leaders have called for calm and dialogue, stressing that stability must be maintained. The capital city remains on high alert. Armed forces and police have increased patrols, and checkpoints have been established to ensure safety. Citizens have expressed a mix of fear, hope, and uncertainty. Many remember the protests vividly: helicopters overhead, drones scanning crowds, gunfire in city streets, and now a verdict has brought both relief and tension. The streets are calm, yet charged with expectation. The nation waits, wondering how the ruling will affect daily life, politics, and social cohesion. This tribunal ruling could significantly reshape the political landscape. Upcoming elections may be influenced by public reactions to the verdict. Opposition parties may gain momentum by portraying themselves as champions of justice. Meanwhile, supporters of the former leader could mobilize, creating further tension or even unrest. Policy decisions in the next government will be scrutinized, with legal and political precedents established by this ruling shaping future governance. The international community will closely watch how the nation enforces the sentence and manages the diplomatic consequences that are sure to follow. This ruling also raises profound ethical questions. Is the maximum sentence an act of justice or a political maneuver? Can the nation achieve reconciliation after such a polarizing verdict? Will victims' families find closure, or will societal divisions deepen? These questions do not have easy answers. They reflect the broader challenges of balancing justice, stability, and human rights in a nation recovering from political turmoil. The path forward requires navigating these complex moral dilemmas with wisdom and foresight. Looking forward, several scenarios are possible. First, there's extradition and enforcement. The former leader may be returned and the sentence executed, setting a powerful precedent for future accountability. Second, international intervention. Global actors could influence proceedings, potentially delaying or altering the enforcement of the sentence. Third, we could see domestic unrest. Supporters or opponents may mobilize, leading to protests or even clashes on the streets. Fourth, a political realignment. The ruling could shift party dynamics, alliances, and future leadership. And fifth, there's the possibility of long-term reconciliation, where the verdict encourages a focus on legal and institutional reform, emphasizing accountability and the rule of law for all. The tribunal's verdict has set the stage for a nation at a crossroads. The former Prime Minister's legacy, the interim government's credibility, and the citizens' hopes for justice all hang in the balance. What happens next will depend on leadership, law, diplomacy, and the resilience of the people. History will judge this moment, but the consequences will be felt immediately in homes, in streets, in offices, and in the hearts of those who lived through the events that led here. Disclaimer: greater than this video is created for educational and informational purposes only. The content is based on publicly reported media coverage, tribunal statements, and news sources. No direct accusations are made, and all names and locations have been generalized to comply with platform guidelines. This video does not constitute legal advice, nor does it confirm guilt or innocence beyond court rulings. All opinions are presented in a neutral manner. Viewer discretion is advised. Thanks for watching. If you found this report informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on global events.